Hutchinson, Kameron with a K.
Indeed.
Good to have you on the podcast. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
But what does it really mean in a company to have a positive workplace culture?
Being brand ambassadors, basically. But that's difficult sometimes to get right.
We know the expat population in Dubai is upwards of 90%.
The UAE wants to be the happiest place.
Is managing people the hardest part of your job?
Or you overhear a conversation and you go, wow, yeah, I really like the way he operates. You are not going to hear that sitting in your pajamas at your dining room table.
How hard is that then to try and align everyone's personal beliefs?
Definitely you should be diverse, yeah. You don't want a workplace culture which is too much of one thing, and that's the beauty of Dubai, right?
Hello and welcome to Ducab Daily. My name's Lachlan Kitchen and it's great to have your company here for season 2 of the podcast. We're discussing in today's episode how to have an all-inclusive workplace culture. Our next guest on the series has worked as a brand ambassador. He works as a speaker sometimes. Formerly, he was a real estate agent, but now he works as the Recruitment Director for Allsopp Allsopp. Kameron Hutchinson, Kameron with a K.
Indeed.
Good to have you on the podcast.
Thank
Good to
you
see
for having
you.
me.
Businesses like to talk about well-being and workplace culture. It's a bit of a buzzword. But what does it really mean in a company to have a positive workplace culture?
It can mean many things to many people or many businesses. I genuinely think having a positive workplace culture means your employees are happy. They are outwardly giving out what you want them to give out. They're attracting the right people to your business. They're being brand ambassadors, basically. But that's difficult sometimes to get right.
Then how do you find that balance? Obviously, you're sitting there when you're in recruitment and you're looking at people that are coming into the business and you've got to understand the business's goals. How do you try and keep that alignment between personal growth and development and the company's goals?
Well, for a start, you have to identify the right type of people that you want for your business. And I always liken it to the airlines. You will go onto an Emirates flight and there will be a certain type of person that will serve you on an Emirates flight versus Fly Dubai versus British Airways. Everybody's different. So the people in recruitment have to know the business inside out, know what the culture means to them, and attract the right people based on that culture.
We know the expat population in Dubai is upwards of 90%. So when people come here to work, they've got their own experiences of what a positive workplace is or a well-being within the offices from their home countries. How hard is that then to try and align everyone's personal beliefs?
Well, you never will align everybody's personal beliefs, but let's face it, Dubai, it wants to be the happiest city in the world, right? The UAE wants to be the happiest place. So most people that you will speak to will say, look, I want a positive workplace. I want to feel happy at work. I want to enjoy myself. If you're asking the right questions on an interview, you should attract those types of people. Naturally, there will be some, what shall I say? There will be people that will naturally not vibe with the business and vice versa. The business will not vibe with them. That's when you know that it's time to move on.
So it comes down to mindset as well. It's harnessing that diversity to be able to have better business outcomes.
Definitely you should be diverse, yeah. You don't want a workplace culture which is too much of one thing. And that's the beauty of Dubai, right?
Well, when you talk about workplace culture, people often, I think, get caught up in the different nationalities. But in my experience, I think generational differences tend to be far greater sometimes than national cultural differences. Is that the biggest challenge, generational change? And we often talk about the TikTok generation coming through that are all wanting to work from home completely. Is that the biggest challenge we're facing in the workplaces?
I don't think in our own business that's the case, but I think generally in Dubai, yes. Why? Because so many people are coming to Dubai. They want more, they want better, they want work from home, they want flexibility, but it's about balancing that with being around successful people so that we don't have a generation of work from homers that aren't qualified based on being around other people who are qualified.
Now, it's hard in real estate to work from home when you need to show people apartments. So
yeah, I guess.
what are some of the best initiatives that you've seen companies introduce to help with health and well-being in the workplace?
You see, I like that question, but it's also a bit double-edged because sometimes people can say, oh, we've got a fruit basket on reception or you've got free water or whatever. And it's a bit 1990s, noughties. We've been there, done that. I think generally making sure that people are happy mentally, making sure that they're active. Of course, we're in Dubai. 30-30 will be something which everybody wants to get on board with to make sure that they keep fit. I think it's about making sure not just they're offering something, but the whole culture is supportive, which you don't necessarily get in a lot of workplaces worldwide, not necessarily just Dubai.
Diversity is coming into recruitment a lot. What are your thoughts on whether a company needs to look at, no, we need to pick the right candidate because we need to have a diverse workplace between just employing the best person for the job?
But you should always employ the best person for the job, regardless of diversity and inclusion. It is a buzzword or buzzwords. But if too closely focused, you can end up with a diverse bunch of people that aren't right for the job. And so, oh, great, we've ticked the diversity and inclusion box, but we haven't ticked the box where we need a capable CFO or we need a capable CMO. We've just hired based on diversity, which shouldn't be the case, in my opinion.
And is there experience in Dubai, in your experience, are companies doing a lot of this training in regards to cultural sensitivity training, workplace training, having employees understand well-being? I mean, is the onus on the employee, or should the onus be on the employer? Because sometimes the communication can sometimes get lost in a lot. I mean, people often talk about their businesses are struggling to communicate on their core objectives,
Yeah.
let alone have to suddenly discuss the workplace issues that are going on.
I mean, I definitely think it's the employee's responsibility. If you're choosing to join a business, you should be doing all of your research to make sure that the business fits your requirements and vice versa, you fit theirs. Yes, it's the employer's responsibility to make sure that they outwardly show what it is that they're looking for. But if you're going for a job interview and you're not asking the right questions about what the culture is like and whether it fits for you, then that's on you.
How hard is it to retain the best talent?
Very hard. It's a competitive marketplace, right? Everybody wants to pay more and offer you this and that and the other. But that actually folds nicely into workplace culture. And actually, if you've got an employee who is happy, who is performing, and they're enjoying the workplace, they won't move. And I'll use myself as an example. I've been with Allsopp Allsopp, my company, for 8.5 years. Unheard of, really, in Dubai. Most people will say, oh, no, you should be moving on every couple of years. Why? If you're happy where you are and you're carving out your niche, stay where you are if you're enjoying the culture.
Well, the only argument to that is they often say if you really want to get a pay rise, the only option is to move to another company because it's cheaper to employ from within.
Potentially, but then you're probably not a very good negotiator.
Okay, maybe we can talk about negotiation on another pod sometime, Cameron. But retaining talent is hard. But if I'm sitting down and I'm at a new employee, I want to be a new employee for a company. What do you think are the right questions I should be asking of that company to make sure it's the right fit for me?
First of all, what is expected of me? And it's such an overlooked question, but what is expected of me? And it's so open-ended because I could say, well, I want you to dress a certain way. I want you to speak a certain way. I want you to arrive on time. I want you to do this. I want you to do that. It allows the employer to show very clearly what it is that is expected of the employee. And I mean, you could ask things like working hours and holiday entitlement. To be honest with you, those things are quite basic. Like, we've moved on from that now. And I think actually asking what is expected of me, what are the outcomes, what would you like to achieve from me being employed? Great questions, because they're open.
Yeah, I always had a rule when I was working somewhere. It was, what do you want from me? How am I going with it? And do I have a future here? Were sort of the three questions.
Well, there's a very there's a piece of work. It's stop, start, and continue. So what do you want me to stop doing? What do you want me to start doing? And what am I doing well that I can continue doing?
Oh, I like that.
It's good, right?
Yeah, I might have to do that. And I think that also comes down to being self-aware and being open to communication from all angles. Most people will say, what would you like me to do? They won't often come in at an annual review to go, okay, you might like this, but is there anything you need me to stop doing, any feedback or something that's going
People
wrong?
hate self-review because when something goes wrong in a workplace, who do they blame? The employer. They never go, I think that was probably my fault. No, it's always the employer, and it's the wrong way to look.
When you're looking at the future of Dubai, we know this is an incredibly fast-paced city. It seems to be that as a culture, we're more adaptable to change. And we often speak about this, how the city changes. We drive around the streets and, suddenly there's a new street that wasn't there last week. Do you think that Dubai then puts us in a positive position to embrace these changes in the workplace because change is all around us?
100%. And I think actually if you've got Dubai on your CV for however long you've been here, obviously the longer the better, it shows resilience. Because so many other countries or main hub cities, they are not moving as quickly as Dubai is. And it sounds really silly, but to be driving on a street one day and then the next day it's either not there or there is a new route, some people would lose their head. Oh no, I don't want to drive anymore. I can't do this. People in Dubai go, okay, cool, great. It's just cut my journey in half. Like, it's perfect. And I think actually having that, we use roads as an example, but it isn't just roads. Things will happen overnight in Dubai You either get on it or you don't.
Yeah, it's a good point. For someone who's running a business or is maybe in management, what do you think are the biggest challenges or changes that are going to come into human resource and human capital over the next couple of years?
Great question. I think if we just touch back on the work from home for just a second, it is a huge, in my opinion, potential problem, because we do, let's use real estate as an example, or any other business where you need to go and see people. You cannot do that from working from home. You cannot enjoy that flexibility as much as maybe other industries can. And that's why I think you see a lot of entrepreneur style jobs here in Dubai. But if we talk about corporate businesses, and let's face it, Ducab is, you need to be in the office, you need to be in the business, you need to be learning from the people who are more experienced from you, because how else are you going to learn? You want to take advantage of the people that have been here from the word go, that have seen the change, that have had the challenges, because as a new employee, I'm going to learn from the people that are in the business. You can't do that if you're walking your dog, putting the washing out, emptying the dishwasher, which, let's face it, invariably, if you're working from home, those are probably the things you're doing.
Yeah, it's a good point, because most people that work from home will often say, I can be more productive because I'm not getting distracted by conversations and workplace gossip. And I might be able to put a load of washing on and walk the dog and invariably be more productive. But I agree with you. I think that from speaking at university seminars, the key thing that people look for is working from home. But if you're really passionate about a job or a sector, that's how you learn, is from someone who's been there 20 years and they say, look, this is how it really is, or share stories or share challenges that they may have been through.
But it's not even the structured things. Sorry to butt
Yes,
into it,
no,
but it's not
I
even the
agree.
structured things. It's the catching up with somebody at the photocopier or the water cooler or the bathroom, or you overhear a conversation and you go, wow, yeah, I really like the way he operates. You are not going to hear that sitting in your pajamas at your dining room table.
Yeah, so it's the ability to learn, to absorb,
Yeah.
and also to, I guess, impart trust in your employer, that they can see you and see what you're like and your energy and your culture, so they can go, yeah, tick, he can work, or he or she can work from home.
Well, otherwise it just becomes a product-based life. Like, you need me to do that job. I did it in 3 hours. Then I've got the rest of the day to myself. Well, how are you challenging yourself? How are you doing something more? How does your employer know, hey, look, actually, Kitch has completed that task so much quicker than we expected him to. He's shown excellent skills in X, Y, Z. Let's give him that promotion. But we wouldn't know that if you said, oh, yeah, I've done that task today. Well, how long did it take you? Did you find any challenges or difficulties with it?
Last question, is managing people the hardest part of your job?
Yes. I took a moment to answer that, but yes. Why? Because everybody's different. And my management style is you cannot treat everybody the same. And that can have its pros and its cons.
Well, it's one of the hardest jobs to do, manage people, and you've done it successfully for a long period of time. Cameron, well done on your success. Thanks for coming on the podcast here with Ducab Daily.
Thank you.
Our guest today, Kameron Hutchinson, the Recruitment Development Manager for Allsopp Allsopp. We thank you for your company, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Ducab Daily.